Okay, so it's that time again, and today I'm bringing to you my review of the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite after using it for roughly 2 months now. I know a few of you have already watched my full review on this, and I just wanted to bring to you all an update as far as how the tablet is holding up, and we're gonna go ahead and start off right now. Now, many of you should watch this video as an update to my previous video, and I know I already mentioned that in the introduction there, but for first timers, people who are learning about this tablet for the very first time, this is what was considered, or maybe is still considered, part of Samsung mid-range category. And again, that's maybe still a mid-range tablet with Samsung. I'm not sure anymore since Samsung released the all-new Galaxy Tab S7. Nevertheless, it's supposed to be kind of a washed-down version of the Galaxy Tab S6, which was the flagship last year. Now, no matter how you see it, it's kind of a lighter, and I don't want to say washed down and make it seem like it's a bad tablet. I'm just trying to say that it's a lighter version of the Galaxy Tab S6 here, and we're gonna jump right into the review. But before we do so, please do me a huge favor and hit both the like and the subscribe button there if you haven't done so already, or if you're new to the channel, and welcome, of course. I truly appreciate your support here. Let's quickly cover price. Now that we have a new generation of Samsung tablets out, this used to be priced at $300 when it first came out, but now, again, because the newly released Tab S7 and the Tab S7 Plus, this thing goes for about $280 for the Wi-Fi version, which is of course the unit that I have here. And that price point is not bad at all. Now, as I said in my previous review video, this tablet is supposed to be right between the budget Tab A, the Samsung Tab A, and the then flagship Tab S6. This was the Lite right in the middle, where they made all the adjustments to kind of fit people who are a little bit more budget oriented and that want kind of a mix of performance but still stay on the budget side. But when it came to design, they actually kept it pretty premium because I really liked it. It's pretty sleek and it's very light and portable and also very well balanced. In the past video, I did say that it has a premium feel, although after using the Tab S7, I can say that the Tab 7 is even more premium. Now, that doesn't change the fact that this one still has some great level of premium blend into it, especially for a tablet that is considered to be mid-range. I also like the assortment of colors that Samsung has for these, and this Angora blue still looks so nice to me. The front here has this uniform size bezel that I liked very much from the get-go, and of course the screen is laminated. You do have all of the physical features that you would need in order to manipulate or use the tablet here, especially a few that I really still appreciate here, like this dual speaker setup here with one speaker on each side of the tablet, the headphone jack, and of course the micro SD card. Now let's talk about performance and how they went during my usage of it, during the past 2-month usage of it. So I'm gonna start off with, of course, the internal storage. This unit here is 64 gigs of internal storage, but you have to keep in mind that pretty close to a quarter of that internal storage is used by all of the fluff that Samsung is gonna load the tablet with. But here's the good news though, you have that expandable internal storage. You have the ability to expand that internal storage using a micro SD card, which I actually do have. I have quite a few, and so internal storage at 64 gigs wasn't really a problem for me because I'm just using my micro SD card, and you have the ability to expand it at up to 1 terabyte. And that is a huge thing for many people, the ability to expand that storage. Now you do have 4 gigs of RAM on here, and it has definitely come in handy. Many times I found myself multitasking or having to toggle different apps and tabs at the same time. So I can pretty much say that performance has been pretty decent during light to medium productivity work. It has a 10.4-inch TFT display with 2000 by 1200 for the resolution here. Now, if you remember in the past video, I did say that the average user may not mind the TFT display on here. So the specs on the display may not be that big of a deal to the average user. Now, I've been able to compare that to my Galaxy Tab S7, and clearly there's a gigantic difference. And I'm not saying that I didn't know that there was a difference, but what I was saying and what I'm saying today is that the average user may not really care about that, because I get to do that difference. You know, I get that privilege of comparing both because I'm just kind of crazy about devices and I go out there and buy. The average user may not want to do that. They may not want to buy a Tab S7 and the Tab S6 Lite just so that I can compare. They're going to go for the Tab S6 Lite because that's what they are looking for, something that is budget friendly. Now, that being said, the display here is still fine, especially as I mentioned again, the price. Given the price, I still think this display is great. And on a side note here, if people want to go for that AMOLED display, they could just shed a little bit more money and be able to grab the Tab S7. That would get them even better specs and of course include an AMOLED display. Watching movies on here is just amazing. Gaming or just entertainment overall is still pretty good. The screen is fairly bright and the colors are well pronounced, so it's pretty well built to handle video streaming very well. Couple that with those nice sounding speakers, and the entertainment experience here is pretty great. Those speakers, by the way, are tuned by AKG and the sound is really good, although it could use a little bit more bass. It's running the Exynos chipset, which was kind of a disappointment, but you have to keep in mind that again, this was not meant to be a flagship tablet, right? This is more of a compromise that Samsung is making between budget and flagship to kind of give you that right medium. So it's not too terrible. It's just that it would have been great to have a Snapdragon on here, but Exynos, you can kind of work with it given the price tag, given the price that you're paying for this tablet. The other thing here, which is kind of my biggest gripe with this tablet, is that it does not have DeX support. It is such a nice feature that I would have loved to have on this tablet like I do my other Samsung devices. Now, for the software, you have, of course, One UI sitting on Android 10, which has always worked so well with me. I'm so familiar with the One UI platform. It has generally been very smooth, and you also get to enjoy some level of continuity between phone and your tablet and even your watch. Now let's talk the S Pen. And of course, the S Pen is one of the biggest appeals of this tablet, right? Being able to buy something kind of a budget price or pretty close to a budget price that comes with an S Pen included. I know some people who have been on the verge of getting either the Tab A or getting something that would be compatible with the Samsung S Pen, and this here, the Tab S6 Lite, is actually a great pickup or a great compromise for those people. Now, many people have been asking how it's holding up, how the tip of the pen is holding up. It's holding up pretty well. I know it's only been what, I think 2 months, but it's been holding up very well, and it's my understanding that even if you were to break it somehow, or if you're using a screen protector and somehow it damages the nibs, you should still be able to either interchange that if you have another S Pen that apparently they're all compatible, or you can simply order one off of Amazon for either the Tab S4 or the Galaxy Note. Apparently they're pretty much interchangeable. Now, don't quote me on this. That's what people are saying. I haven't had a chance to actually use that, but that's what I'm hearing. And one of my favorite features about this pen here is that you don't really have to charge it to use it. It just starts working right out the box, and it actually mirrors many of the features available on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus's S Pen. You know, things like turning writing into text, or the Smart Select tool, copying and pasting images, or even using split screen and all that good stuff. I haven't experienced any latency, so feedback is usually immediate on this pen. So latency has not been an issue really for me, and I'm only kind of noticing it now because I have a Tab S6, which is kind of super quick with that S Pen. But overall, I still say that for the average student who needs to be taking notes while using the S Pen, this actually will do the job very well. And of course, that is to a certain extent depending on the type of work that you are doing as a student. Now, gaming has been good here. Light, medium, and even heavy games are playing pretty well here. Now, some large games like Fortnite would definitely have frame drops, but things like Call of Duty play extremely well on here. Now, the cameras are pretty good on here, so expect kind of Samsung level types of camera. Maybe not the types that you would find on Samsung flagship devices, but the camera is still pretty good. You get a 5 megapixel front facing camera and an 8 megapixel rear facing one. Both cameras can shoot 1080p videos at 30 frames per second, but I have to bring this up again. There is no flash on that camera on the back there. As far as battery goes, you get that 7,000 milliamp hour battery, and it is fast charge capable, and it's been pretty good so far, so I'm still getting that 10 hours with my type of usage. And as I always say, this is very subjective, right? Based off your type of usage, you may get either less or more, but for me, I'm getting roughly 10 hours, which is actually really, really good. Now, overall, I think this is still a very good tablet, especially for people who are kind of budget minded and want to spend money on something that's going to be able to perform perform multitasking and medium level jobs with no issues, of course, with that 4 gigs of RAM as I mentioned earlier, but at the same time not be on the low end of, let's say, the Tab A, for example, and get some stutters or get some stuff that crash. This would be a very nice pickup for them. I truly hope this was informative. Again, my user experience was great. It's been good so far for the past 2 months, and I'm going to do another update on this tablet in maybe another month or another couple months or so, just letting you know how this is holding up, how that S Pen, because that seems to be what a lot of people are worried about. So people who are students, people who are wondering how this tablet is for taking notes, I can tell you that feedback is fantastic on here. When you're writing on here, you get that great feedback as if you're actually writing on paper. It's really, really good for taking notes. Again, depending on the type of productivity that you are working with, if you're doing heavy stuff, maybe look for a productivity tablet, right? As you would do. Common sense would dictate you do. Otherwise, this is still a very good tablet. It's actually a very, very good tablet for students. So if you are able to pick this up, go ahead and do so. Now, I hope this was informative and that it helped your purchasing decision. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, of course, and I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video, and up until then, stay safe out.